how can we semiotically reframe what we already do? This is a very good way to approach encoding semiotics. Your creative process is yours. You already are doing great work. But how will your fantastic visual communication work be interpreted by the target audience? Semiosis 101 has your back. Let us examine how to dynamically improve how you aesthetically mediate the client's desired messages. Let us discuss. Welcome to Season 3 of Semiosis 101, where we explain Charles Sanders Peirce's semiotic theory of semiosis, sign action, in design-centric terms. If you've watched Semiosis 101 episodes before, then you already know I am Dave Wood. I use Semiosis 101 on YouTube, Patreon and Substack to provide a designer-centric translation of Peirce's semiosis. Why do you need Semiosis 101? Peirce's writing and terminology is very obtuse. On Semiosis 101, I translate Peirce's brilliant theory into language creators will understand and can follow. After all, we study design and illustration and not philosophy, so we need theory centered to creators' needs. Yes, that is why you need Semiosis 101. Season 3's semiotic theme is semiotic encoding, with a focus on how audiences make interpretations. What this season's theme means to you as visual communicators is that at long last you will see what semiotic signs can be, are, and will be. We will build your confidence to encode semiotic sign action into your own designs or illustrations during your own ideation phase to enhance visual communication. Last week we focused on the Peircean definition of the immediate effect in a state of firstness a semiotic sign has on its interpretation. The immediate state is the lowest level of semiotic interpretation. Before the dynamic and final states can be arrived at, a semiotic sign has to be perceived as signifying something. Then an interpretation can be dynamically formed. Hit subscribe to this YouTube channel and I will explain. Peirce calls this next state after the immediate state of the effect of the semiotic sign on the interpretation, the dynamic state. This is when interpretation moves from perceived meaning-bearing possibilities of a shape to its pattern, causing a mediated effect on the interpreter in some way affording an interpretation. This mediation effect is the semiotic sign's visual language, helping the interpreter toward the desired interpretation. Let's return to our panda illustration example from last week's episode. The drawing of a panda is not a panda. A panda is an animal which eats bamboo, looks cute, and is endangered in the wild. This is a drawing comprising of iconic lines and shapes, black blobs and black marks that form a pattern. Last week we explored that the immediate effect on interpretation only took an interpreter so far. The immediate effect only took the interpretation from black to blobs and then to pattern. An act of perceiving possibilities of meaning and whether there is intention behind the arrangement of black blobs which could bear meaning. If the designer or illustrator intends the blobs to form a thing, something, other than its parts, that means something, then you are encoding semiotic signs. You have always been doing this, even if you've never realized it. That will be my point this season. You have been encoding semiotic signs in your visual communication work for as long as you have been creatives. Semiosis 101 just now names it and demonstrates how to control and apply the semiotic sign action to enhance your visual communication skills. So far, with the panda drawing, we've only interpreted a pattern. Subconsciously, we are trying to perceive whether this pattern of black blobs and marks are something. Remember, the blobs could be random, like an ink blot. What could this pattern be? It is not geometric, so it's not just a pattern. It forms the shape of something. At this point, which has moved the interpreter from the phenomenological state of firstness, a state of perceived possibilities, to now a state of secondness. The perception level, where in semiotically representing a concept, the visual language moves from iconic representation to indexical representation, from possibilities to existent things. In interpreting the representation form the semiotic sign takes, the interpreter is now aware that there is something interpretable. There is meaning to be understood. In our example, if you have knowledge of animals, then you can dynamically interpret meaning. By looking at the drawing and see that the pattern of arranged blobs and lines in black are not random but form something, then that small interpreted step is a mediated event. The semiotic signs nested together in a pattern mediate a perception event. Before you were aware of an animal, it was a pattern, and before being aware of a pattern, there was just random blobs. In milliseconds, an interpreter's perception of and interpretation of what they are looking at has moved from no sign action to semiotic sign action. The sign action, once perceptually activated, moves the interpreter from an immediate state to a dynamic state of semiotically interpreting meaning. What essentially iconic lines and shapes now mediate the interpreter there in the direction of the desired intended meaning concept. Peirce describes this dynamic state, his dynamic interpretant, as the interpreter's perceivable reaction to the encoded semiotic sign, based on what they individually feel and do when presented with the sign. The interpreter's reactions to understand the visual clues through their internal lenses of cultural knowledge and their individual lived experiences. This is why the Danish semiotician Thorkild Tellefsen describes these states as corresponding to culture. He argues that understanding cannot disregard culture, as that is where we mediate our understanding of the world. We scan for our own culturally acquired knowledge to seek a proposition of what the meaning could be. Let's return to the panda. Bear with me. In this demonstration, we have not yet understood this drawing to be a panda. We are still at the moment of pattern interpretation. Remember? In this example I am using, I am taking my time explaining what for most interpreters has been a millisecond. About 99.99999% of you immediately saw the panda. But bear with me, yes, pun intended. The pattern of iconic shapes have formed a familiar pattern in your mind. You can interpret what looks like a head, a body, and legs. The dynamic state that the mediation of these elements now presents the interpreter is one of proposing an animal shape. Is it a bird? No. Is it a reptile? No. Is it a mammal? Yes. Is it a small mammal, like a rodent? Probably not. Is it bigger, like a dog? Yes, but probably bigger. But it is just a drawing. So far so good. These blobs are all meaning-bearing, but they are just blobs. The mediated form that the individual simple iconic representations take, which are arranged in a particular pattern, are meaning-bearing. Each individual semiotic sign individually offers the viewer the opportunity to interpret a body part. Collectively, the signs, when formed into a pattern, now can indicate form, bulk, weight, and even size. But they are only black blobs and lines. They are also clever, semiotically encoded signs. Blobs or semiotic signs. Can they be both? Sure. Remember, its power is in the hands of two people, the creative and the interpreter. Is it a blob or an elegantly crafted meaning-bearing visual element? The creative is responsible for the intent behind the mark. Is it an ear, a leg, an eye, or a blob? The target audience will interpret which one. How does the creative, you, ensure the dynamic effect? Whatever we as creatives design or illustrate is mediation. We bring into being visuals that have meaning. We also bring these visuals into being with meanings that we do not intend if we are not careful. Semiosis 101 is focused on mindful designing and illustrating through applying semiosis to ensure clarity of meaning. This means mindful consideration of the effect of the visual on the interpretations the target audience could take from what is mediated. This means considering the fact that just because, as a creative, you know what a panda is, everybody also knows. What if your target audience has never seen or experienced a panda? An extreme example, I know, but valid if you take the general intent of making assumptions on your audience's knowledge without first researching. Back to the large mammal. Just as the immediate state is a possibility of this visual quality representing this thing, a ream, then the dynamic state is one in which the possibility becomes a proposal that this thing is that thing. Peirce calls this a dissent, an intermediate subclass of interpretation between the immediate and final effect on the interpretation. A visual proposal that mediates the interpreter to perceive that this thing they now see is that thing they know. In the Panda drawing, we are at the mammal stage of interpretation, a proposal that these shapes are an animal, a large animal. The qualities in the drawing that suggest form, bulk, weight and size suggest a bear shape, if the interpreter knows what bears look like. Remember what I said earlier about creatives making assumptions without researching? We are now in this Panda drawing example at the safe dynamic state of interpretation to interpret the form, bulk, weight and size of the bear drawing's iconic representations. Is a panda. Why can we be sure as interpreters this is not a grizzly bear? The distinctive black and white patterns of existing panda bears are culturally well known. So the mediation in the drawing of balancing the black and white iconic shapes in a particular pattern reinforces the interpretation that indexically this drawing represents a panda. But remember about mediation? Remember when I said earlier about the effect of interpretation? The drawing could lie. The panda markings could be on a grizzly bear shape. Come back next week to explore how to ensure the final state of interpretation is what is encoded. I am Dave Wood, a design educator and researcher, a published design author, and I've worked commercially as both a freelance illustrator and graphic designer. The guy behind the theory, Charles Sanders Peirce, was a philosopher, a mathematician, and a theorist, but he was not a creative. Each week on this Scout Scott Semiosis 101 YouTube channel, I will post at least one free 10-minute explainer episode on an aspect of Peirce's pragmatic semiotic theory. Each free YouTube episode features a take-home piece of applicable semiotic theory, and they do interconnect to build up your understanding of semiosis. Each free Semiosis 101 YouTube 10-minute episode will use design-centric terms instead of theoretical language. As well as the free YouTube episodes, I have 2 further Semiosis 101 semiotic resources you can subscribe to. Semiosis 101 producer roles are now available on Patreon. If you take out a paid Patreon Semiosis 101 patronage, you will get access to all the future season episodes months before they get published on YouTube. As a Patreon Semiosis 101 patron, you will automatically become a Semiosis 101 producer and get a name credit on all future YouTube episodes. Depending on which of the 4 producer tiers you choose, you will also get access to behind the scenes insights, cool Semiosis 101 Patreon merchandise and other goodies for Semiosis 101 to continue making semiotic episodes. As a Patreon Semiosis 101 producer, you will be financially supporting the sustainable future of Semiosis 101 to keep explaining Peirce's semiotic theory. To become a Patreon Semiosis 101 producer, the link is in the description. I have a written semiotic resource available on the Semiosis 101 Substack. Here I have semiotic support materials for both free and paid Substack subscribers. There are full annotated reading lists, episode transcripts, 5-minute semiotic reads, plus other goodies and exclusive Semiosis 101 Substack merchandise. The Substack link is in the description. As a fellow creative and a published design author, I also have a link in the description to my main Scout Scott website. If you're interested in reading my semiotic Rosetta Stone academic writing, then you can visit my academia.edu link in the description. Any other books on Peircean semiotics or design I've mentioned in the episodes are also listed in the description. Check them out too. Thanks for watching. Check out the other Semiosis 101 episodes, like and share them with your friends. And hit the bell and subscribe buttons to be notified when next week's free Semiosis 101 episode is published. You can also follow Semiosis 101 on the socials for updates. It is at Semiosis 101 on Instagram and Threads. See you all again next week for more Semiosis 101 to help illustrators and designers to enhance your visual communication skills.